So if you are learning Japanese, you probably already know greetings like Ohayou gozaimasu, good morning, Konnichiwa, which is like hello, but you can only say it around noon and in the afternoon. We certainly do use these greetings, but there's many more that you don't necessarily learn from textbooks. But first, let me give you examples of these greetings in action.
Konnichiwa.
First, they said Konnichiwa, and then they said Hajimemashite, which is a very common phrase that we use when we meet somebody for the first time. Pretty basic. Next,
Ohayou.
they said Ohayou, good morning. And Ohayou gozaimasu is a respectful version. And if you don't quite understand the conversation here, I will teach you the kind of Japanese that real-life Japanese people today actually speak, because textbooks and apps don't teach you real-life Japanese. So click the link in the description and subscribe to my email group. So let me show you some other things that we often say. For example, hisashiburi, which is a very common phrase that we use when we haven't seen somebody for a while. So the guy said, "Hisashiburi desu," and the girl said, "Hisashiburi." If you don't know what desu means exactly, check out my other video. There's also another variation, which is "ohisashiburi." So the girl said, "ohisashiburi desu," and the guy said, "ohisashiburi." And "ohisashiburi" is slightly more polite than "hisashiburi," but the difference is not really that big. And when we visit somebody's house, we always say, "ojamashimashita."
どうぞ。
入っていい？
相変わらず散らかっているけど。
お邪魔します。
The girl said, "ojamashimashita." And when we leave somebody's house, we say, "ojamashimashita," which is just the past form of "ojamashimashita." These phrases are very common, so you should remember them. Now, there's an incredibly common greeting that textbooks don't typically teach you, which is "otsukaresama desu," which is something like acknowledging that somebody is tired from work, and we use it all the time. And they said, "otsukaresama desu." This is very useful because you can say it at any time of the day. You can say it when you see a colleague or boss in the morning. You can say it when you meet your client. And you can say it when you leave the office. It's super versatile. It's very common at work, but we also use it with our friends. We often say, "otsukare." And they said, "otsukare." I checked so much footage to make this video, and "otsukaresama" is by far the most common greeting that we use. There's just no any other greetings that we use as often as "otsukaresama," so you should definitely remember it. We typically use it with people we already know, so it's less likely that we use it with strangers, although I wouldn't say we never say it. And I found some variations like this. They said "otsukares," which is a contraction of "otsukare desu," which is already a pretty casual expression. Now, it has desu, so it's still polite, but at the same time, this is pretty casual. A lot of people conflate polite Japanese with formal Japanese, but polite doesn't always mean formal. Again, watch my other video for more information. Now, let me show you more informal greetings, such as "yahoo" that some girls use. She said "yahoo," which I consider somewhat feminine, but I think guys can say it too. And some people say "oh." So he said "oh," which I consider somewhat masculine, but women can say it too. And interestingly, the girl said, Yahoo, so you can see the contrast. Another somewhat masculine one is, us.
マーベルだしね。
スパイダーマンでね。
です。です。
ね、今日演技レッスンじゃなくてアクションレッスンだから。
アクションレッスンね。
そうなの。
So he said, us, which I think some sporty guys use it more often than other types of people. Now the next one, omatase, isn't necessarily a greeting because it's acknowledging that you made somebody wait. But it's very common, so here you go.
お待たせ。
お疲れ。
お疲れちゃん。
わざわざごめんね、台場まで。
いいえ、全然。
She said, omatase. And the next one, yeah, is interesting. Because I don't think a lot of people use it, and when you do, it sounds a bit artificial. But I found an example of this.
こんにちは。
おい、待ってました。着替えて。
So she said, yeah. But I would expect to hear yeah in fiction more than in real life, just like this one.
やあ、西方。
いや、高木さん。
And it kinda sounds more natural in anime. Now, I also found some uncommon but interesting greetings, so let me share them.
わ、
お待たせ。
お疲れ、マサオさん。
お疲れ。
So she just said, wow, which isn't even a greeting, it's more like an exclamation, but I find it amusing. Next one.
おざます。
久しぶり。
お久しぶりです。
So he said ozamas, which I have never heard, and I think it's a contraction of maybe otsukare-sama desu, but I'm not sure. But this is pretty original. There's many ways of constructing Japanese phrases. Next.
へい。すいませんね、遅れちゃって。
So she said, hey, which I think comes from the English hey. I like how she sounds very cool and her style is also very cool. Next one.
めっちゃ久しぶりじゃない？
So the girl said, yappy, which I've never heard either, but it sounds very cute. So maybe some of you guys can use it. What if I show up and say, yappy? Maybe I can pull that off. Next one.
ゆうくー。イエーイ。すいません。元気に前ぶりです。
So he said, what's up? Somebody is influenced by American culture. At this point, I feel like you can just make up any greeting. And anime sometimes make up their own greetings. Such as this one.
何か。
She said, yeah, hello. Sorry, yeah, hello, which I think is a combination of yahoo and hello. Next one.
中くんすごい。あ、あかりんとってる。岡部さん。
And that's the famous tuturu, which is a completely made up expression. But just remembering greetings isn't enough to speak Japanese, and that's why I will teach you the kind of Japanese the real-life Japanese people today actually speak, because textbooks and apps are unnatural and outdated. So click the link and subscribe to my email group, Japanese with Yuta.